Practices in Western countries deemed shameful in China. In Western countries, women have more freedom to show off their body. It's normal to see girls wearing braless on the streets or wearing a see-through outfit. But in a conservative country like China, a wardrobe malfunction is like a celebrity's worst nightmare. On the red carpet, the most common posture you see is female stars covering their chests. Even a swimmer had to cover up her chest as soon as she got out of the water when a reporter interviewed her. Zhao Liyi is nicknamed the female bodhisattva because she would cover up the waist and bottom portion of the dress. The most you will see are her arms and collarbones. Stars have to pose in short skirt. They would do the queen squats or twist their legs like a braid. The paparazzi would never get a chance to snap any embarrassing moment. Practices in China, if you're a woman, single, and over 30, you are called 剩女, which means leftover woman in Mandarin. In Cantonese, you are called 老底橙, 卖剩蔗, and 攝做辣, which means orange at the bottom of the basket, the sugar cane that didn't get sold, and the thing used for filling the gap of the stove. But if you're a man, single, and over 30, you are called 钻石王老五, which means a diamond bachelor in Mandarin. In Cantonese, you're called 笋盘, which means quality real estate.
Many people did not know that misogyny was so bad in China. For example, misracial couple. If you are a Chinese man with foreigner wife or foreigner girlfriend, your treatment will be so much different compared to a Chinese woman with a foreigner boyfriend or foreigner husband. For example, in many Chinese social media, by my observation, if you are a Chinese man with foreign wife, no matter what color or race your wife is, like if she's black, white, Hispanic, or other non-Chinese Asian, there are really rare any hateful comments. Like the comments are usually really positive and people just cheer for the Chinese man. But if you go to check a mixed racial couple who is Chinese woman with the foreigner husband or foreigner boyfriend, the comment section tend to be really harsh. Like many people will criticize that woman's husband. And a lot of people will criticize that woman as well. And many people think it is racism, but to me, I think it is misogyny. Because when Chinese men are dating other foreigner women, they do not have the treatment as Chinese men dating the foreigner boyfriend. I don't know if that happened in just China or every other country as well.
Hola, mi somebody say my loves. How are you doing today? So I'm back with another video, podcast. Y'all, I literally blinked and it's been almost a month, y'all. I don't even know what to say. Like, literally, it's gonna be so funny trying to see if I can get this on somewhat of some type of schedule. Okay. I've been working on a few projects here at home. I had a shed built in the backyard. Okay. I had a gazebo built in the backyard. And as nice as those things sound, the stress for an introvert is wild. I'm an INFJ, and that stress was like, I can't do anything else. I can't do it. Super dramatic. Okay. So anyways, y'all, this is crazy. What I've got for y'all today. Oh, it was so hard to find. The research on this is insane that you have to do. And also, don't forget to smash that like button for me. Okay. Thank you. Love you so much. Smash that subscribe button. Here we talk about and cover anything related to women and women-centered topics. Okay. So if that's your vibe, make sure to smash that like button, smash that subscribe button for me, and make sure to turn on that bell notification so you receive a notification every time a new video, podcast, vodcast comes out. Okay, so you don't miss one. There's a link below that links to the store. And there's I'm gonna try to remember to add the IG link, because we do have an IG. There's an IG. Okay, girl. Okay. And that IG, oh my God, it needs so much work. Okay. It needs so much loving, so much work. And there's also TikTok. So I'll add the links below. All right, y'all. Oh, by the way, I know y'all are like, oh my gosh, come on. I forgot something. Oh my gosh, seriously. So anyway, by the way, we're going to start doing lives as well in conjunction to the podcast. We're going to start doing lives, and that's probably going to start next week. So again, make sure to turn on that notification bell And make sure to check the community section. Now, this community section can get heated sometimes. Just because with some topics, I don't have a lot of patience, and I probably should grow some more patience, y'all. Cause with some things, I'm just like patient less. Okay. Patience at 0. Okay. Okay, girl. Okay. Anyways, let's get back to it. Let's see what we've got here.
It's hard being a girl in China. 夹子音 literally means clip sound. It's a rival internet slang describing the way that girls deliberately speak with a squeaky voice to pretend to be cute and sound like a child. This type of voice makes a girl sound sweet and naive and make a guy lay down his defenses and fall for her. Esther Yu was criticized for speaking with clip sound in her dramas Love Between Fairy and Devil and The Romance of the Little Forest.
去的是你心里的，现在到了吗？记得打给我哟。你消失了一个上午，就是为了去介绍露水。
Her original voice sounds more like a tough woman.
你知道，就是我们像剪刀石头布嘛，然后输的人，然后。
Clip sound has become a derogatory term for girls who try to please and charm boys. Even girls who are born with this kind of voice are called bit, and they have to prove their innocence for something out of their control.
Tragic in all cultures. Exactly. The double standards. Exactly. You know, y'all, I can't help but to start thinking about the role that women played in creating this nonsense. I mean, literally. And you see these women littered everywhere, like pygmecious through and through. You know, a few weeks back, I posted in the community section about how, African-American ladies, there's a lot of pygmecious there. I mean, and they don't even realize that they're pygmies. They don't realize they're pygmecious, y'all. They don't even know. They couldn't, for example, language like, yeah, I have a man and he only needs to pay for me. He doesn't need to pay for anybody else or my friends when we go out. Like, first of all, that's a poverty mindset. And that's very pygmecious. Is that he's not a baby. He's a grown male. If he's among several women, there's no reason why he's not paying for the whole table, because that's embarrassing for you. How do you not see that? Like, what? Anyways, y'all. So it got me thinking, wow, there's no way. Like these males did not create this by themselves. They didn't create this by themselves. Leave it in the comments below. Let me know what you think. In Europe, you're called happy. As what? Cats bring peace and happiness, so why not? Exactly. Okay, so as single women, I guess. Dog owners too. Mm-hmm. And Europe, there's a reason why the value of Europe's money is actually higher than that of the American dollar. Maybe it's because they might just be a little bit more advanced. Well, maybe. Who knows? We'll have to make a video on Europe and see what's going on over there. Okay. Yeah, so happy. Mm-hmm. The Japanese version is Christmas cake for women over 25. Who wants to eat Christmas cake after 25? Oh my gosh, that's terrible. That's creative yet harsh. I didn't know Christmas cake is popular in Japan. I thought that the country is mostly Buddhist. Yeah, we did a podcast covering Japan and Japanese males. So if y'all aren't caught up on those males over there, make sure to get yourself caught up right after this podcast. Okay. Leftover. Yep. We'll get into the irony of that leftover comment. A lot of y'all probably know how ironic and why that's so ironic. Okay. It's super crazy that they would even, the audacity of males is like never ending. They literally, it's like, they need to not be here. I'm so sorry, but I just can't. Like, what? What are you doing? There's too many of them. Maybe not all of them, but like definitely most of them. Why are they here? That's my question. Exactly. WTH, exactly. I'm a bachelor and living the dream. Let's normalize it for the bachelorettes as well. Yeah, I always have to look at any male that's coming in a woman's circle trying to like get our grace. I always have to look at them sideways because they've backstabbed women more than enough times. I'm just like, okay, sir. What are you doing to make that a reality in real life? Why are you here talking to us? Okay. The way I'd fight someone on the spot if they ever dared say such term to me. Ooh, hey, not fight. Goodness gracious. Yeah, right. You probably never hurt anyone in your life. Okay. See, the males always thinking, what's wrong with the males? Like they swear. That's exactly. But they're always they look at women as weak. They view us as weak. They view us as just like, I don't know what they are thinking in their heads, y'all. It's crazy. Y'all, I don't know. Me almost near 30, but honestly, I'm so picky that it's not like I date or anything, just school and work. Girl, same here. You go, girl. Arm yourself with money and wisdom. Don't settle with anything less. I am super picky. Oh my God, I'm insanely picky. Okay, y'all, so let's see what else we've got here.
Celebrities who are victims of misogyny. As gorgeous as Delira Ba, she was once disliked by her mom. Her mom was hoping to get a son when she was pregnant. So when Delira Ba turned out to be a girl, her mom was very disappointed and raised her as a son. Childhood pictures of Delira Ba were all dressed in boyish outfits with short hair. Singer Jing Zhang said when she was born, her dad asked her mom if the nurse gave them the wrong baby. The situation is worse in Taiwan. Amber Ko's mom had 2 daughters and was pressured to have a son. It was a high-risk pregnancy and the elders forbid her to do a C-section. Her mom died giving birth to her brother. Annie Yi's mom already has 6 daughters. When she gave birth to the 7th one, her dad left right away to try for a son with the mistress. Sadly, her mom blamed herself for failing to have a son.
So in my previous video regarding to Chinese culture fun fact, sometimes I always like to quote a saying. However, sometimes those sayings passed down from the ancient China can be really misogynist or get twisted by the meaning. For example, we have a saying in Chinese, it is called 君子远庖厨. And right now in modern China, a lot of men like to use this saying as an excuse to not cook at the kitchen or refuse to cook or work in the kitchen. Because that saying directly translated into English means that if you are a man, if you are a true man, you should not be cook or working at the kitchen. And someone also come up with this different twist meaning, say that, okay, if you're a man but you work and cook in the kitchen constantly, you will slowly become a woman because you spend so many time on the kitchen and cooking, and your mind will become small-minded just like women, and it's not good for you. However, that saying 君子远庖厨 actually have a different meaning. It actually come from one of the article from Mengzi. So if you read the whole context, 君子远庖厨, this saying actually mean that you should not kill the innocent. You should be kind and be mercy or have compassionate. It doesn't mean that you are not a real man if you work or cook in the kitchen. However, when I pass down it right now in modern China, you will be surprised how many men still using that sentence to avoid cooking duty. Like I said, misogyny.
China is a misogynistic society. For thousands of years, Chinese people prefer sons over daughters. Actress Zhang Ruonan revealed on a show that her grandma wanted a son for the firstborn. When she turned out to be a girl, she was named Ruonan, which literally means like a boy. She only changed her name to another homophone when she began acting. Her parents kept trying for a boy, and only after 3 daughters they got what they wanted. As the oldest of 4 kids, all her earnings went to support her family. She can't afford to buy a house even after 4 years of acting, because she was from a rural area where patriarchal ideals were deeply entrenched. Despite growing up in such an unfair environment, she still worries that she didn't disappoint her parents.
Asian men for internalized racism, because what you're doing is you're holding every single Asian man accountable.
Quite frankly, this conversation gets rehashed, recycled over and over again because men refuse to accept that this takes a nuanced answer. Men, you cannot blame dating preferences 100% on internalized racism. You have to understand how misogyny plays a part in dating preferences. One thing that the creator said, amongst many other problematic things, was how Asian women have to separate the trauma and the dysfunction that we experience at the hands of our dad from the men of our generation. How can we do that? I'm curious. So quick question. Do you think the misogyny from our parents' generation was just contained in their generation, that somehow these dads didn't also have sons who were taught and ingrained from an early age the same misogynistic and patriarchal ideologies and beliefs? How do you think the patriarchy has existed for eons and eons? Was it not passed down from family to family, father to son? So that argument is kind of laughable to me. Why are you acting like men from our father's generation are different from the men from our generation? Does misogyny skip a generation? I don't know. Also, is there plausible evidence that men, Asian men, or men in general are doing the work in unlearning misogyny? Because did anybody else see that political ideologies chart where women are becoming significantly more progressive and men are becoming more conservative? And it's not to say that misogyny doesn't exist in leftist or progressive spaces, but we know which political ideology most espouses traditional and patriarchal norms. But even if it's just one chart or one interpretation of the data, there's still more and more evidence to suggest that there's a massive ideological gap between men and women. Also, what's your definition of doing the work? Because for men to unlearn misogyny, it is the bare minimum for you to not be misogynistic or be objectifying towards women. If you truly want to do the work, you have to stand up and call out other men for being misogynistic. And women, have we seen that? If you have, let me know. I've never personally seen it before, even with close guy friends. My point is this. Arguments like this lack nuance and they lack intersectionality. There are multiple systems of oppression, whether it's white supremacy or the patriarchy, and they often work hand in hand together. Calling dating preferences solely the result of internalized racism minimizes and diminishes the brutality of the patriarchy and the effects of misogyny on women.
What country isn't a misogynistic society, bro? Seriously. Seriously. This is the reason why they have lower female ratio than male ratio in their own country, as long as they balance the ratio without any preferences. Yeah, exactly. Well, so for decades, China actually unalived most of their female babies. And what's interesting about that is that they weren't made to unalive babies. Like the government didn't tell Chinese people, hey, you have to like unalive children that are girls and only keep the males. They said you can only have one child. There's a one child policy, which is insane. It's like, how do you even tell people how many children that they can have and they can't have? That is so strange. That's insane to me. But they limited the amount of children that the people could have in China. And what resulted as a result of the ingrained misogyny and patriarchal society that China is, what happened as a result of that is that the families themselves, the women themselves, the males themselves were choosing to unalive any babies that were women or female or female because they could only have one and they wanted that one to be a male. So fast forward till today, China has no women. Literally, the numbers are insane. Actually, let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Okay, so this is the irony of calling women leftover women. And I think we can kind of see globally how delusional males are. We can literally see it. They cannot evolve. And all they can do is devolve. They just cannot evolve. They can't do it. By nature, it's like they weren't meant to evolve. They were kind of just meant to be here and then die off. Eventually, their whole group dies off because that's what's happening. And you can kind of see as a group how the male species operates. It doesn't take, like, you don't need a microscope. All you have to do is just see it. Just look and watch them and see what they're doing. And so you can see as a group how they operate and how delusional they are. It's like they don't have a brain. They can't think. You know, you're calling women leftover women, yet you literally don't have any women because you unalived all your women. All the women that would be women today, helping your society birth more people for your society, be a cleaner society, be a less violent society, you killed. But yet you're calling the women leftover women. So even those women that are in their 30s or past 25 are not, they're going to feel like there's no point. Like, why would I get married? Why would I get with a male, especially one that's Chinese, when all they do is insult me all day? If they're saying that I'm already left over, I'm just going to go do something else. I'm just going to focus on my work. I'm just going to focus on other things that make me happy and live my life. It's literally, so you have even less women. You're creating even less women for yourself. It's insane to me. Like, it's like what is wrong with them? Like, they really you cannot be this dumb. Like, there's no way. You can't be this dumb. Like, it's like males are just so dumb. Oh my God, y'all. So the gender imbalance, China has fewer women than males, a phenomenon that's known as the missing women or missing girls. They're not missing. We know exactly where they went. Like, what is wrong with them? Like, how is that a phenomenon of missing girls? You killed them all. We know that. Everyone knows that. And I'm tired of people dancing around what they did. A lot of videos that I've seen, it's less and less now. More and more people are just straight up saying what it is. But there's a lot of like videos and content that I've seen where it's like they try to just like dance around what happened. It's like, what are you trying to dance around? They killed all the women. Like, what do you mean? That's exactly what happens. That's literally what happened. Or what do you mean missing women? They're not missing. We know where they went. We know what you did, right? So the imbalance is due to a combination of factors, including the one-child policy, cultural preferences for boys, and gender-based abortions. Yep. The one-child policy, China's one-child policy was in place from 1979 to 2016. Y'all, do the math on that. How many decades is that? Insane. So during this time, they were just like massacring women as babies. Like, I even heard that sometimes they would drown them, sometimes they were just massacring women babies during this whole time. And now that their population is about to collapse because they have no women, so they can't replenish. They literally can't replenish themselves, right? Now all of a sudden, let's lift the one child policy. And mind you, y'all, it didn't work. It didn't work. They don't even have enough women for that to work at this point, right? So their population continues to decline at one of the most drastic rates we have ever seen, only to be rivaled by that of Korea, probably, right? So yeah, insane. So during this time, millions of baby girls were lost due to gender-based abortions and other methods used by families to ensure that they had a son. And y'all, they also had clinics. They had clinics that they built. They started building clinics all over the place specifically for gender-based abortions because so many women were requesting for it. So many families were requesting for it. So it became a business of its own, y'all. I can't make this stuff up. Do the research yourself. Google is free. Google is free. Okay. Rural areas, the sex imbalance is even more pronounced in rural areas where there are 130 boys for every 100 girls. Population statistics. Some studies have concluded that China's sex ratio is closer to normal, but that population statistics are skewed by age. Okay, basically what they're trying to say there is that there's way more old people than there are young people. And so as the people get older, the old people won't have anyone to take care of them. And not only will they not have anyone to take care of them, but it's a double whammy because there's not enough young people being birthed, y'all. So they're not even repopulating. Okay. So eventually unfortunately, the only unfortunate part about this, y'all, is that I won't get to see the complete demise of this country. Okay. That's the only unfortunate part because I might not be alive by the time it happens, but I mean, it's kind of already there, right? I mean, they're not being replenished. Point blank, period. Right? Falling birth rate. Even after the one-child policy was ended, China's birth rate continued to fall. Fall is an understatement. It plummets. Okay? That thing is like donezo. It's donezo. That birth rate is. And then it's so much worse for them. Because again, y'all, I keep saying this, again, they don't even have enough women. So their violence rate has also gone up. Yeah, it's crazy. Some reasons for this include the cost of raising children, lack of social welfare, and traditional gender roles. Women in the government. The UN has expressed concern about the lack of women in China's top leadership in 2023. Women represented only 26.54% of deputies to the 14th National People's Congress. Well, that's no surprise. They don't want women in anything. All of these countries. This world is just, comment below if you think this world is worth saving, because a lot of women propagate this. A lot of women are a part of the problem, and that's across all cultures. I just gave the example with the African American women. Even African women, it's a big problem over there, okay? But it's just different. It's very different. They're less pick me there, but there's still it's this issue with preference for males. I don't. There's no fixing. Comment below if you think there's any fixing of this world, because I don't want to be too pessimistic. But comment below if you think this world can be fixed in the way that it is now. I think my recommendation and advice is like, ladies, stay single, enjoy living your life, enjoy being stress free, get your pets, get your plants, get your friends that are women. Okay. And don't stress out about having no kids. This is what you're bringing them into. Not worth it. Okay. Don't stress out about having to take care of a male. Not worth it. The women that already made that choice, I don't know. I don't really know what to tell you. You're going to have to figure something out. I don't know. If you already kind of like put yourself in a difficult situation because of a male, it just depends on what that situation is, whether or not you can kind of salvage that, right? But definitely, especially for the younger women, the patriarchy is not a game that women were ever meant to win, and that we were ever even invited into. So stop playing their game. And all you have to do to not play their game is to leave these males alone. You could even be friends or nice to them on a friendship level and stuff, like just on a general level. That's literally all you have to do is to not be with one of their males. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Really, y'all, it's literally, it's that simple. Okay. As a result of the one-child policy and traditional son preferences, China's missing female population is formed through SEX selective abortion, discrimination in care of females, and non-registration of girls at birth. Imagine.
Chinese language is way too misogynistic. Part 2. Mama means mom, but mama da means fucking. Nai nai means grandma. Nai nai da means fucking. But what if you do the same for baba, dad? Baba da, it just means dad. And also yeah, grandpa. Yeah da, just grandpas. Nothing happened. It only works for female. Song Joong-ki managed to offend both Chinese and Korean netizens. Recently becoming dad, in an interview he said, becoming a father and a husband means losing a lot of job opportunities. His speech angered Korean netizens. They said he got married, divorced, remarried, and had a baby and still remained the top actor. Actress Lee Yang-ae, known for drama Dae Chang-geum, had twins in 2009 and didn't return to the industry until 2017. Kim Tae-hee has only filmed 2 dramas in 6 years since getting married to Ring and had 2 kids. Song Hye-kyo is the highest paid actress, making 157K per episode, but Song Joong-ki was making 235K per episode in Reborn Rich. In China, an actress who became a mother didn't get any roles for a year and made her wonder if she should find a new job because she needs to provide for her family. Many women have shared on social media they got rejected for a job because of their married status. Chinese netizens called Song Joong-ki sad-fishing. Some defended him and said, "You are being too harsh. He's the one that gave birth, not his wife."
I saw this video from this Korean content creator, and she just came forward about how she is reluctant to date Korean men, how growing up in an extremely traditional and misogynistic household shaped her to feel that way about Korean men. And that pissed off a lot of men. And so in turn, a lot of men stitched her video saying that she had internalized racism, and the reason why she has all this internalized racism is because she's singling out Asian men for their misogyny, even though misogyny exists in every other culture everywhere else. I also saw some male content creators that I really enjoyed give some pretty disappointing answers too. Surprise, surprise, the majority of the stitches to that video were incredibly unempathetic, and that is because the majority of men don't take misogyny seriously. We never really have an honest conversation about dating preferences, especially in the Asian community, because every time Asian women bring up valid reasons as to why they're reluctant to date Asian men, typically because of misogyny, the vast majority of Asian men respond in this inane and stupid game of whataboutism. They don't deny the existence of misogyny in Asian culture, also don't address how much internalized misogyny that they might have had growing up in these misogynistic households and cultures. They don't want to do the work. So what do instead? They deflect, they blame. Their argument becomes, what about white men? What about black men? What about Hispanic men? Aren't they misogynistic too? Is it any different for us? That's why this collective conversation about Asian dating preferences can never happen.
Take race out of it, and males are just poor individuals. Swap one race for the other, they're all the same. And I just commented and I said, agreed. Okay. They all, oh my God, I don't know. When I think about how we got here and why there's males here, the nut that I get in the pit of my stomach, it's like for not wanting them to exist anymore. Like, why, how did we get here? They're just terrible, y'all. They're just horrible. Horrible, horrible species.